What's good with it? It's your boy, Simon Phoenix. This is Shots Fired. What up? What up? What up? So, as I usually do, always dig off in my magic bag. So I decided to bring back one of my favorite guests, my man E.R The Maker. Got a new single out, so I had to bring him back to the show to talk about that. What's good with you?
Not much, man. Big killing. How you doing?
I can't complain, man. I can't complain, man. Trying to stay out the way. You know how I go.
Yeah, same. Best thing to do right now.
Definitely, definitely. In today's world, it's probably your best bet at all times.
You said what?
I said in today's world, it's probably your best bet at all times is to stay out the way.
Don't want to get canceled. You know what I'm saying?
Man, cancel culture is heavy out here, bro. It's heavy.
They letting anybody have it.
Hey, they don't care, man. They here to get rid of you and make an example out you if you're doing something they perceive as wrong. It don't necessarily have to be wrong. It just have to be perceived as wrong.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. It all comes down to opinion anyway.
For the most part, you know. I think, in the society that we live in, because a lot of it starts off as a democratic idea, I think that we sometimes take public opinion a little too far with things. But that's just my personal with it.
Yeah. No. I mean, I would definitely agree with that. I would say that we're kind of at a place way different than obviously I would say I grew up. You know what I'm saying? I was born in the '90s. I think you were born in the '80s. So you know how that shit goes. But
oh yeah.
I was gonna say we're in a time, man. Like if I'm allergic to pizza, and then all pizza shops need to be closed down right now.
Exactly, and no one should ever breathe the word pizza around you ever again, knowing that you hate pizza. No more pizza commercials, no more pizza nothing. Yeah, that's kind of where they got us at.
Yeah, because that could upset me.
and no one wants you to feel displeasure.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, it's a strange thing. And then I don't know if you've seen that stuff going on with Lil Nas and Boosie.
Oh man, come on, man. Of course I seen the thing going on with Lil Nas and Boosie. I was more in shock that Taco Bell made him an executive. That's what threw me for a loop.
Oh wow, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so Taco Bell made him I want to say they made him executive director over something to do with like marketing, somewhere within their marketing thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, that doesn't surprise me though, because I mean that dude is pretty smart at getting attention, obviously.
Look, man, I was trying to figure the whole thing out.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit weird because I'm surprised they'd be putting somebody like him to what he's into to be marketing for tacos. He don't like tacos.
I just find it funny that they teamed up with him and was like, yo, this how we gonna do it. Yeah, so what it says is Taco Bell teams up with Lil Nas X and appoints him Chief Impact Officer.
Wow.
The whole thing sound bogus though, bro. Like let's be for real. Like I try not to, harass the LGBTQ community in any shape, form, or fashion. But I will say that you gotta admit it does sound quite funny that you hired a guy who is a gay male to be your chief impact officer. My bag. It just make me be like, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, man. Like that don't even who in their marketing department was like, yeah, so what we gonna call him? The impact officer. He's the officer in charge of impact. That sounds terrible, man. That's just a
Yeah,
terrible thing to say about a gay. Like, it's like a setup for a gay joke all the way around. So I don't know.
well, especially when you refer to the impact, you know what I'm saying, and that's where I understand where Boogie's coming from because I got a 6-year-old son. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
don't I don't want his subconscious to be swayed one way or another. And that's the thing is like back in the day, none of that stuff was ever existing. Like if that's what you did, it wasn't promoted. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody knew if Batman or Robin was really gay with each other because nobody gave a shit about that. Were they going to save the day or were they not going to save the day? You know what I mean? So I think a lot of the stuff that gets tapped in with the culture just needs to just be somebody's personal business. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that would save a lot of grief as well too. But for him to be, now I know this may sound crazy, but I think Taco Bell needs something like that because I mean the last time I heard a good Taco Bell commercial was back when people used to watch TV on cable.
yeah. But I don't think my opinion of those kind of things always breaks down to be the same thing. I don't really see those things as being useful. Like anytime you hire like a celebrity person or someone from outside of marketing to do something for you, it never really works out and they get the impact that
Oh,
they want. No pun intended. No pun intended in that one.
but yeah,
That slipped out. But they don't get the traction they're looking for. And so for me, I just always think that, those are just people that they don't have any ideas to begin with. I always say Hollywood has no ideas. Hollywood is
yeah,
the Hollywood is the home of let's regurgitate anything and everything. If it's an IP that's well known, then yes, we're gonna use it.
yeah. Especially when it's current at that time. And I think that's what it is. It's just a temporary PR move. Like, let's get a little bit of press so that we can get some people back in here. But in a month, everybody's going to forget about us again. So what are we going to do next?
Pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a rough time, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's weird. Coming up as an artist. Because I'm still on the rise now. I may be young, but I came up in a different era. A lot of the big homies, the OGs that I was around, they wouldn't condone that shit. Definitely not. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm on my way to getting canceled. I don't know, but to see the baby get canceled is crazy. To see them trying
Oh,
to cancel
oh
so
man,
boozy
you already
is
know,
weird.
man. You already know. Like some people are that they can't cancel, and the real reason why they can't cancel them is because their fan base isn't based in a way where you can stop them from messing with them. You can do all the stuff you want, but you can't cancel them. And so I
Yeah, yeah,
always laugh because like watching prime example is to watch the baby backpedal was hilarious for me as someone who has gotten into the journalistic side of hip hop, paying attention and then having conversations with hip hop artists and people who are attached to it. I find it to be very, very humorous that you gonna have the baby be like, I'm sorry, bro, stand on what you said. If that's how you felt that night, that's how you felt. Now, was you wrong? Yeah, you was wrong. You was feeling yourself, you was wrong. But and I'm a realist. Yes, I totally understand you're wrong, and I totally understand why people thought you should apologize. I get all of that, but and it's a huge but as usual. It's a big ass, but bro, if that's how you really felt, stand on it. Stand on it, because guess what? The majority of people that's gonna be mad at you, they not even fans. No way. They not even rocking with you. No way, bro.
yeah, yeah. It was cool. It was cool to see somebody, you know, my age stick up and say how they feel because within that industry, a lot of those people in there are like that too. So they will just try to control the narrative. And they're like, "Oh no, there goes the brand. Apologize, apologize." You know what I mean? Because they don't want to mess the money up. But once the damage is done, the damage is done. And at the same point, you're 100%, man. I don't think that they would be able to cancel Buddy anyways. Like his music goes too hard. Um, I always listen to that song, Shook. I'm not super familiar with much of his other music, but that Shook one. And there's that radio he's got with 21 Savage, I think.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Post Malone.
Yeah, I think it's 21 Savage and Post Malone on that joint. Um, I just find it to be interesting and funny. You know, I'm one of those people that I find what happens in pop culture to be very entertaining. Just
Yeah, it definitely is.
yeah, it's always entertaining, bro. For me, I just be looking at it like, so what you gonna do? You know, what you gonna say? How you gonna move in this situation that you caused for yourself? So, you know,
Yeah.
I find all that kind of stuff to be interesting. So now, since you know we going through the little things that's been going on in the news and you know in life and so forth, let me ask you this: there's been a huge debate about children mask in schools, and I know you're a father, so
Yeah.
let me ask you, you know, how you feel about the mask in schools, the whole move. You with it? You against it? You like, yo, what's up with you?
I,
What were you thinking?
I think that every individual or family needs to make a decision for themselves. You know what I mean? Because I know there's a lot of, anti-maskers or anti-vaxxers and this and this and that. And to be honest with you, I don't have the vaccine. I'm not really, pro wearing masks. But I say that not to say that COVID is not real, because COVID is definitely real. You know what I'm saying? And we've lost people in the community that I've known and spent a lot of time with, so it's pretty sad. But however, I don't think that these are effective for COVID. They may be to a certain extent, but like as far as my son goes, when he's in school, I just want him to breathe, be able to be a kid, and just live life, man. And the school that I put my son here in Metro Detroit, he just got they just put mandates in. After the school year started, from the jump, they were like, parents' choice. If you want to wear one, you can. If you don't want your kid to, you don't have to. All the teachers are going to be wearing them. I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? This is awesome. Finally, I have a choice. And then obviously that changed. As of today, I had to bring my son, to school with a mask on. And I'm not going to cap, bro. Because I didn't have a mask for him here, so we had to go to Walmart in the morning to grab one. And I got one for him, and I also, got some of those like sewing pins, that you put in a blanket to hold it in place while you sew it. The smallest ones I can. I'm sitting there trying to poke holes in it, so small all over it so that he can breathe at least better than what he could breathe. But what I did, you know what I mean? And I don't know if it's going to work, Simon, but what I did is I wrote basically a religious exemption form. You know what I'm saying? And I got it notarized by the bank, right? Signed off on it, and I sent it to the school for my son to not, not to have to wear a mask, not only because it infringes on his religious beliefs, but also because of the fact that it's against the 14th Amendment. We have the right to wear what we want to wear. Don't, wear what we want to wear. If I want to put a cowboy hat on my head, I can. If I want to put a snapback on my head, I can. If I want to put a mask on my face, I can. If I don't want to put a mask on my face, I don't have to. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's my personal feelings about it. But, obviously that choice is protected by the 14th Amendment, like I said, as well as we should have religious rights constitutionally. So I wrote a letter, put a couple of case files in there, put some links and some resources, and sent them to the school. Now, my concern is if they rebut, or actually if they don't rebut, right, and then behind my back they make my son wear a mask anyway. But the thing is if they do rebut, then obviously I'm going to have a lawsuit on my hands because of the fact that they would be breaking federal law at that point.
Right.
So it's definitely a really weird time right now, because at the same time, I don't find any fault with the people that want to get a vaccine. I don't find any fault with people that want a mask. But me personally, you know what I'm saying, I want to move how I want to move, and I don't like to be stopped. And this is something new for America. America, we've always been able to move, in certain situations like this, to an extent, right? And that's starting to change a little bit. And I know that some people are easily able to adapt, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm old school. My pops was old school, and I like to be principled. So That's
No,
my
I get
entire.
it. I get it, bro. I get it. For me, I'm in the same kind of boat you are with it in a lot of ways. Because I have a small toddler. For me, I'm just looking at him like he not taking the shot. He done already had COVID, so he got immune to it. He don't care. I don't care. Now what?
Yeah,
And for people that's like me who had it, we kind of looking at it like, well, I got to go get a shot for something I had when the medical game already tell you my body made its own immunity. That's what the shot's supposed to be doing, is trying to help me get immunity. That's what you telling me. Now, I've done some research, talked to some doctors, and what my doctor told me is it's very similar to getting the flu, but this is just supposed to help you deal with the symptoms. Let me say that again. This is supposed to help you deal with the symptoms. So
yeah,
everything about how this came out, rolled out, and was presented to society was bad. You presented it as it was a vaccine to make me safe. No. You told people to take their mask off early. No. Because when you told them to take their mask off, you took it under the guise of, oh, you've been fully vaccinated. But that wasn't real, because the vaccination didn't keep you safe. The vaccination was just making it easier for your body to fight it off so you wouldn't have it as bad. And that wasn't 100%, because Jesse Jackson, his wife, fully vaccinated, is in the hospital right now. And there has been countless other people who have went to the hospital because of this. And what doctors behind closed doors who don't want to lose their medical license, who don't want to be scrutinized by mob rule, are saying is, look, this is not a true vaccination in the idea that most people thought about a vaccination. So,
yeah,
because it's not, for a lot of people, they will probably try to use a term like gene therapy, where your genes are getting told, hey, this is this. And so then they will rewrite themselves to protect themselves to then fight it. This is why the common code changes every year. Like our body, every year we get the code, but we get a variant of it, because the code that we got last year, our body will kick that's ass. When it runs up against us, then it's like, oh, no, you don't want none of this, Playboy. Well, it's kind of the same concept, right? It's introducing COVID so your body can then recognize it, and then when it sees it again, be able to fight it off more effectively. Well, if you've already gotten COVID, that's what your body does naturally. So why do I need a shot?
right, exactly.
You know, that's what makes me curious. What makes me curious is to be like, I ain't never heard of no shot where y'all giving out pizza, money, cars, trips. It seems weird. I'm just saying, man, like it's countless other things that kill us, and we don't give out awards when people do right. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's 100%. Yeah, that's a strong perspective, man. I would agree 100%.
So,
And I think that
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I I also got it, but I got it in like December 2019. This was before it was like really out. They didn't really start talking about it, I think, till like March. But I got it really bad, man. And like, I honestly just like fasted for most of the day, and I'll eat fruits and vegetables. Just drank a lot of water, and I was on the couch for like 3 days, coughing my ass off. And then I stood up and I was dizzy for a few days, and I shook it. But it was really weird because totally fine, everything's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sick. You know what I mean? I don't really get sick in the winter anymore. As I've gotten older, I don't really get sick anymore. We lived this whole summer. I haven't got a summer flu or a summer cold yet. So it's funny because and food is so bad for you, and sometimes I wonder if that's how the original spread could have happened, because I think that's how I got sick. And the reason I say that is because, bro, I went to my parents stay north, like Grand Rapids, like 20 minutes north. We originally grew up right behind the bowling alley on Alpine, and once me and my brother got older, moved up house, they got some land up that way, and there's a Dollar General up there. You know, like when you're out in the sticks a little bit, there's like a Dollar General, like every single small town. It's super weird. I don't know why that is, but
Oh, I can tell
So
you. I can tell you exactly why that is. The real
they're probably
reason. The real reason why you see Dollar Generals or dollar stores or any store that's like a Piggly Wiggly, something like that, right? The reason you see a large populace of those stores, especially in small town America, like every itty bitty town, is because small town America is filled with the poor. That is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, all based off the fact that when the economy is bad, they make good money. Cause guess who in there? Poor people trying to stretch their dollar. That's why they everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I just got done watching
yeah,
the documentary on it. Real talk.
yeah. When I first, it was smart how they do that. When I first had my son, and I was with my baby mama in a trailer park, like, um, right in Belmont, Michigan. It's like right like when you're coming from downtown, you're going north. It's like I think it's Comstock Park and then Belmont. It's just like one street. I lived on a trailer park there, and right across the street, check this out. There was a dentist. There was a gas station. There was a pizza place, bar and restaurant. There was uh, a tobacco shop slash liquor store. And what was the last thing? A Dollar General.
Everything you need to live a broke person life. There you go. Everything you need to live a broke person life. We got somebody that's gonna cook you a little pizza when you don't want to cook. We got somewhere you go when you can't buy that Pepsi. That's $2.60. That $3 2 liter. You know what I'm talking about. Or come on up in
Yeah,
here and grab this fake cola for $1 so the kids will shut up. I got you. We got you. What I'm trying to tell you. We got your vice. We know you smoke cigarettes. We know you smoke weed. Come on and get this tobacco. While you in there, your girl slightly a drunk. Go on and grab these coolers. Let's get it popping. This how we play poor America. I tell this to people all the time. You can always figure out where the hood is by what the stores is.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Well,
wherever you go in society, if they're poor, it's just like you said. It's a Dollar General. It's a liquor store. It's a chicken
yeah,
spot. You know what I'm saying? It's a
yeah.
it's what I like to call the bootleg Chinese food. That's when the Chinese family don't even decide that they're gonna give it a real name. It's just be like Kim's Chinese food, some shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? They'll,
Super generic.
yeah, it'd be super
Because
generic. That Chinese family don't even feel like they want to even do anything to make it sound like it's a real restaurant.
they know motherfuckers gonna come there either way.
Yeah, because they know people, because they know who has to come and eat there. That's what I'm saying. It's all set up. Like one person does it, and then another business will do it, and then several businesses will build around that idea that this is a niche market, very poor. This is the way that we will service that group, and that's what they do. So let me ask
Yeah.
you. So let me ask you this, right? So you sent in the paperwork, and you was like, "Yeah, I think this could work." Right? As talking about COVID, mask, the whole nine. Now,
Uh-huh.
my question for you is this: do you think that we are going to go to a state where everyone has to take it? Do you,
Before I answer that, I do want to say that the last part of the Dollar General story was just to connect for the fact that I did eat. I made hot dogs for my son that same day that I went to Dollar General, and there was eight hot dogs for $1. That price is out at 12 cents a hot dog. So sometimes I'm wondering if I got COVID from that. But to move forward,
so wait,
do I?
pause. No, you're not allowed to slide that in there. So you mean to tell me you bought some Dollar General hot dogs and you feel like that's how you got COVID? Is that what you're telling me?
Bro, man, that was the most lowest quality swine you could possibly eat.
Look, I'm back. I'm back. Ask my question again. That's how you thought you got COVID because you decided to eat the most bogus hot dogs made in society is the dollar store General hot dogs. Hey man, I come over
Yeah,
there. I come over there and fight you, bro. I will literally come over there and fight you, bro. Like real talk. I should just show up at your door right now.
yeah. I mean, I don't move like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause now, they got little Kroger's down this way, and they got the beef hot dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like six of them for $4.25. So that's a little bit better. I mean,
I
pigs don't.
bet they. I bet they are. I bet they. First off, for my listeners, I'm not even messing with you no more for a second. For my listeners, right? For everybody at the crib chilling, you mess with shots fired. You mess with your boy Simon Phoenix. I will never endorse you to buy any food out of, let me repeat that again, any food out of a dollar store, Dollar General. If you buy something out of there, it better be a Hot Pocket that's a real Hot Pocket with the Hot Pocket logo and branding on it. And I'll tell you, yeah, them fake lemonades is safe. Like, that's about as far as the food go. Oh, in the bullshit chips. That's about as far as we going. But you better not walk out with no meat products, none of them super off-brand pizzas, none of that, bro. You asking for somebody to kill you, because if it's in the dollar store,
Yeah. Yup.
if it's in the dollar store, man, it's not for you.
It was the worst decision I ever made. I think it's because, like, at that time, like, I don't know, I was staying at my mom and pop. My son was like, "I'm hungry," and my parents, like, they don't. It's so weird, bro. They don't ever buy food. Like, I don't even know how they stay awake, but cause they always put the money in the cars and the money in the crib. I'll be looking in the cupboard, it's empty as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, let me take my son a little bit of hot dogs or whatever. And so I'm using like my last $5 because like the generic juice that comes in a jug.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves that stuff. He always wants the grape or the green or the orange.
Bro,
It was
you a
like
kid. You are killing me softly. You are basically giving me the, hey man, I've been broke, to a broke person. Hey man, you ever been so broke you had $5, you had to make it work? Yes. And you was just like, you was on your $5 mission. You was like, man, look here, man, son.
Yeah, no, I'm
Son,
just
we
saying,
gonna
I'm fine.
risk it all. I can't. Hey man, this get you all your hood points. E.R The Maker somewhere like, hey man, it's been a point in time in my life I was like, son, we gotta risk it all with this $5 at the Dollar General. But we gonna walk away with a beverage, some chips, some bread, and something to put in between the bread, son. I got you. Let me tell you, from now on, if you ever that far down on your luck, and I know you, and you are my guy when it comes to giving me great plans of hustles and stuff, shout out to E.R The Maker. He always dropping, hey, how you can get to a different bag. So I know you are never going to be there again, but if you are, let me tell you something. You better get some damn peanut butter and jelly. Don't you never get no meat products from no damn dollar store.
Well, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. But so do do I think that we're gonna eventually have to be all required to be vaccinated?
Yes.
I think that potentially it could be implemented. Is it going to succeed? I don't think so, because I think there's going to become a certain point. And I don't know if this is 100% true or not, but I've heard things that, like, in France and like Italy and other countries like in Europe, that people are starting to wild out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that everybody would wild out, but there's going to become a point where people are they're going to be so angered to the point where they're not going to be standing around asking questions or asking for the stuff to go away. They're not going to be, protesting anymore. You know what I mean? And I think that we've seen that with, Donald Trump and his really crazy, deranged presidency. So, if people are willing to gather and go to the Capitol and do dumb stuff like over votes or whoever the president may be, which is the most stupid thing I've ever heard of, then I know for a fact there's going to be a whole lot more people that are going to be upset when they may have the same viewpoint that we do and their rights are being infringed upon.
Well,
but then again, I could be entirely wrong.
No. I mean, it's your opinion, and we have no clue. People know you're a hip hop artist. Like, if you don't know, the band's got a single to promote. I'm just asking you messed up life questions about what's going on to pick another person's mind. So they know that you are not a professional. Neither one of us. That's why you think I have to get on and say that, man. I'm not a professional. I don't know nothing. I'm dumb like you dumb. I'm just giving you what I'm seeing. Does it make sense to y'all or not? That's all I'm asking. And you have the right to ask those questions like I do. It was just more curious for me, right? Because we're regular people on boots on the ground, as we say in the military. So we seeing it firsthand, and some things don't add up. And I've talked to other people who are like-minded who said the same thing I was saying, where it's just like when I had the conversation with people with the mask thing, right? I said, people misinterpret the mask and protection. And the person was like, what do you mean? I said, okay, prime example. When you get in your car, are you going to wear your mask? Right? And the person was like, no. And I was like, why? Why you ain't wearing your mask in the car? They go, because it's just me in the car, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, my car don't got COVID. My car ain't about to give me COVID. I said, okay, that makes sense. That's what I'm thinking too. They go, why you ask that then, bro? I said, because I see people in their car with masks on. And then
Yeah.
that leads me to think that you think the mask is protecting you. That's why you in the car with the mask on. And then they go, yeah, the mask ain't protecting. I said, no, the mask is protecting us. I said, the mask is to help keep your nasty germs in you. I said, you didn't. I said, that's what that's for. The mask is so if you cough or breathe or do anything, it is caught in the mask with
Yeah.
you. They go, damn, bro, I ain't even. I said, yeah, that's the problem, bro. That's the problem. This why the mask mandate don't necessarily work, because it only is going to work for a person who is actually carrying and could be spreading, right?
Yeah. And in the beginning, didn't they say that if you were sick, then you had to wear one, and if you weren't, then you didn't have to?
Well, yeah. I mean, that was, and then it became well, we don't know who's sick, who not. We know y'all some dirt bags. You'll be dying and you'll be breathing all down my shoulder. So please put a mask on. Well, yeah, and it's the truth. We know it's some people out there. They dirt bags. We know what it is. But
Yeah.
a worldwide mandate, right, or a mandate in the United States. I think a mandate in the United States won't work because, unfortunately, the United States is a place where way too many people really believe in freedom. And I say unfortunately because sometimes they take it too far. But this is the home of freedom. And once somebody get to telling you can't do, and take it from a man of the group of individuals on the planet who has had the most times people tell you what you can't do. As a black male, I can speak better than most people on the planet on how many times somebody done told me I can't do. You ain't gonna do. And we're gonna show you for sure you can't do that. So when it comes to something like this, and you plan on running this by Jim Bob and them, you plan on running this by Dale, I'm just gonna keep it. I'm keeping it a buck with you, my friend. You trying to, you know what I'm saying? You trying to run that past Dale? You trying to get that past Joshua? Oh nah, bro. Joshua at the crib with the heat. And if you come to this door on that crazy stuff talking about we gonna give you a shot and the sheriff here, everybody catching a hot shell, it's gonna be a murder scene. Based off him and his belief in his freedom. And I'm one of them people that, because I'm 2A, I be like, please don't let it go to this, man. I just want to hold on to my gun just in case the crazy people or zombies happen, whichever come first. Please don't make me lose my guns, y'all, because y'all about to wild out. But I know for a fact that if you go to rural America with this stuff, you're probably going to get shot in the ass. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's why they doing it in Australia, is because they done already took their guns, and the Australians is wilding out. The Australians was wilding out, like they was coming and talking about, yeah, we coming to get the kids next. Everybody get it. Y'all shut up. And the Australians was over there like, you done took the guns, but we'll poke everything moving over here, because they like to get stabbed capital of the world right now because they done took the guns. Like they was trying over there, they was trying to take the knives from them, because the gangsters was like, oh, you took the guns? That's fine. I stabbed the hell out these people out here. They better get my money. I ain't playing. And I always tell that to people. I'm like, humanity will come up with a way to hurt you. Don't think that you take the firearms away, that they not going to come up with something. I said, man, you take the guns away, people be back out here with swords on each other.
Right, slingshots.
Slingshots. Try to understand what I'm talking about. You catch people with bats and poles out here. People be learning kung fu for real. People are nutty, and they believe in protecting themselves, and they'll figure out a way. They will figure out a way. So I said all that. Real talk, though, bro. I said all that to say, like, I personally don't think that in America will happen, but I think they will push it. They will do other stuff in America. Like in America, what they'll do is they'll just try to mess with your bread. That's my opinion. I think what they'll do here is just try to run the, you ain't got the shot, you can't go to work. And that will make people in America go to work, get the shot.
Yeah. So the cool thing is, obviously, I work from home, for technical support. But I mean, if they try to implement that at me, yeah, it would definitely be concerning.
I mean,
the way things, and I think I keep thinking about getting me some land. So I can start growing some vegetables and fruit and all that stuff.
Now that's a good plan. But I would say to you, even the people that work from home, I'm gonna tell you, I know some ladies right now who work in billing and coding, right? They have
Yeah.
all been working from home for the last year and a half. Their job is trying to make them get the shot. And their
Oh, wow.
job and their job does not want them to come back into the building because their job wants to discontinue having a building. Oh, I was just having this conversation with someone about all businesses that can work from home. Those businesses are seeing an uptick in the looseness of extra money because they're not paying rent currently, and they're not
Right.
paying electricity and a water bill for a standing building. That has now all been taken care of by you, the person that's working from home. So they don't really, they don't have to, they don't really want people to come back. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, your job is saying they don't want you to come back on one hand, but on the other hand, they telling you to go get the shot. Who you gonna see? That's the
Yeah.
question. If it's on you and it's your life and you can make your decisions, right? And especially, I'll keep saying, especially for the people who've already had it. Like, I could totally understand if a person hasn't had it and you like, man, you really should, it might kill you if you get it. I could see that. I don't think you should be able to force them, but I can see it more than you going to somebody who's like, no, I tested positive. I'm still alive. I wasn't hospitalized. This is what happened for me. Why do I need the shot? Like, you can't come up with a logical reason why I need the shot, though. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And so those people in that particular situation is what's crazy to me.
Yeah, yeah, and that definitely makes sense. You know what I mean? Because you're right. Some people, obviously, when they get to a certain age, depending on how they're, the condition of their health, yeah, they can easily be taken out.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and so I could, I understand. I can understand to a certain degree, but on a whole nother plateau, it's like, yo, bro, like you shouldn't be able to tell somebody what to do with their physical health if they've already beaten it. It's like going to a cancer survivor and then telling them what they got to do after they done beat cancer. They gonna look at you like you stupid. Like like what? I don't even got cancer. You still about to get in here and get this radiation for what? Because we want to double check and make sure you going to keep it. No, I'm not. No, I'm good. Leave me alone. So let me ask you about the music. Let's get off into the music. Let's leave current affairs alone, right? For somebody to call and be like, man, once again, you out here spreading that shit, Simon. Man, I'll be trying to tell you, man, they quick to get on the phone with me and send me a hot email. I'm be like, I got 400 listeners and 5 of them will email me in a heartbeat and complain. I can't believe you got on here talking that trash. I'll be like, hey man, it's just my opinion. I don't really know anything. I'm so sorry. No. You be on that bullshit. And I'm here to tell you about yourself. I'll be like, oh my goodness. Okay. That's how I be feeling, bro. I'll be like, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, I would think that keeps them listening. Then. I mean, as long as they're listening.
Yeah. Look, whatever it takes to get them to be listening to the show. Sometimes I do dirtbag stuff and then tell people, yeah, now listen to my podcast. You think I'm a dirtbag on Facebook? Check out my podcast. Then I get to listen to the podcast. They be like, you made so much sense on your show. I'm like, yeah, because I went in an echo chamber with the rest of y'all. You can actually listen to my points instead of reading to argue. I was like, most of the time, the point I'm making is not to be a jerk. It's really to point out, like, this is how life works. And a lot of y'all live on the idea of, I wish it could, or, well, the anomaly happened once. Well, the anomaly's not going to happen for you. Like, why would you go through life thinking you were going to have all the anomaly things happen to you? I'm just so awesome that I should win the lottery. I should bump into Jay-Z. He should just sign me to a deal. I'm just so fantastic. I'm out at the park in the middle of nowhere where someone should discover me as an athlete. Like, no, bro, that's not how this works. Even if it happened one time, this is not how it normally works. You can't bank on that goofy shit. Stop it.
Yeah, getting lucky is...
It's just that. It's getting lucky. It's self-explanatory.
Sometimes I wonder if there's really no luck to the things that a lot of people see. Because a lot of people you know, especially in the music industry, to see somebody and they're like, wow, he just came up out of nowhere. You know, I'm like, no,
Oh no.
that's
I said, oh no, that's definitely not true. That came up out of nowhere is a complete lie. Either A, you have been grinding. B, you just got on your grind and you had the perfect hit at the perfect time and it took you to the next plateau. Or C, you have been hanging out with someone who is already in the game and they have been tutoring you the whole time. And then they decided to drop you on the world and pretend like they didn't know you so you could have your own personal buzz. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Where you hear a story in the background, you be like, so you was singing background for Luther Vandross all this time? Yeah, I was on this song. That's like, you're like, oh my goodness. You was meant to be. You was meant to be a star. Well, yeah. I've been doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? That's normally how life works. Like you never gonna hear about the guy who in reality, oh man, I just started playing basketball when I was in the 11th grade. It's only like one of them 4 million guys who's in the gym busting their ass.
Yeah.
You know?
And to be honest with you, that's kind of what I was talking about the other day on the book, man. Like sometimes we as men have egos that are not even proportionate with our reality. Like I love basketball. That was my first dream. You know what I'm saying? It was nice. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple of 20 point plus games in high school. My brother went and played college ball. I got sent away as a juvenile, came home, and still had the opportunity to play college ball. But Division III, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no matter how much work that I put in, no matter how much time and effort that I spent in the gym, no matter how much I believed that I was great, no matter how many pickup games I won, it didn't matter. Because if I ever got on the court with LeBron James, I'd get manhandled. You know what I mean?
It is what it is.
Yeah, there is some people that are born for that lane, but not everybody is going to be born for that lane. You know what I mean?
And exactly. I think it always boils down to the fact of this, right? That as people, we are good at some things, we are okay at other things, and we suck at a lot of things. The key to life is really about finding what you're good at. Hopefully it makes you happy and doing that thing, right? That's what the plan should be. Most of us get caught up in, I like the fame and the glitz and glam of this thing, and then I want to do it. And then you get doing it and you find out you whack, but you can't get off of being whack. And so because you can't, in your mind, you like, I need the fame and the fortune part of this, and I'm going to keep going. And people are like, no. And we sometimes we make things way harder than what they need to be based off the fact we're doing that kind of shit.
Fact. Yeah, you know that's 1,000%. I used to feel like that exactly. Like I think like the first probably 6 or 7 years, the rap. I was like, I'm just gonna smoke this blunt. I'm gonna make this song in my little funky home studio, and I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, one of these days, after dropping a song on YouTube or SoundCloud, and I'm just gonna blow up. You know what I mean?
Nope.
And it definitely doesn't happen. And if you listen to my music now compared to when I started first making music, you can definitely see the growth. It took me a lot longer to master my craft than to where somebody may just be gifted with it, you know, within them. But I used to believe like that was the only way. But now that I'm getting older, I'm like, no, why do I even, if that shit happens, great. But that's not going to be my goal because I like to have, you know, a little bit more of a realistic expectation for myself. So my goal, Simon, is just to get 1,000 true fans and spend $100 a year with me. And if I can do that, and it's just all in Michigan too, because my goal is to just build a regional buzz.
Well, what I was going to say to you is there's nothing wrong with that because the easiest person to recognize who has done that, who is a megastar in their own right and a boss, Tech Nine. So everything you're going to say to me is what a hip hop head would say. That makes sense because anybody who know who Tech Nine is, you love hip hop. He is a guy that is 100% grassroots, has his own studio that's state of the art, goes on a tour every year, has a festival for himself, and is a multi-millionaire and does not have a song on the top 10. and probably hasn't had a song on the top 10 in at least 15 years. That should let you know what his grind is. If you still getting $1 million or more a year and you do not have a top 10 hit, you don't have a major video, you don't have a song that everybody know, and you still getting to the bag. Come on, man. That's a real grind. I mean, you got real fans. You got a whole thing set up to get it popping. So how about this? Let's take a quick commercial break, come back, get into the hip hop that we want to talk about, which is your project and the latest single and where cats can go get it and all that kind of information. Let's do a quick commercial break and then we'll be right back. All right? Stock the Bar Vodka, made right here in Michigan. Distilled from Michigan red winter wheat. The red winter wheat provides this drink with one of the smoothest flavors known to man. Stock the Bar Vodka, premium quality. Our motto is smooth taste with a purpose. And now, the official sponsor of Shots Fired Podcast. Stock the Bar Vodka. Pour up a glass. Drink with a purpose.
Brought to you by Mind Vendor Incorporated in association with Ashy Radio.
Hey, are you tired of having that upset stomach, that bubbly guts feeling? Then I need you to get with Tyrone's Gas X. That's right, Tyrone's Gas X is known to stop upset stomach, farting, wet farting, hard farting, bubble guts, squishy guts, and the runs.
Please use as directed. Side effects may be hair loss, weakness of jawline, weakness of pull-out game, lip dick, and pimples.
Tyrone's Gas X. Stop you from having that shitty feeling.
Yeah, you know what it is. Shots Fired Podcast popping.
Welcome back to Shots Fired with Simon Phoenix.
Yo, so I got my man E.R The Maker chopping it up with your boy Simon Phoenix. You already know where you at. So we were discussing, or at least getting into, the new single. Let's chop it up. Let's talk about this. So I've been paying attention, right? You've been dropping singles. You've been doing your thing. When the album coming, man? When the album coming?
Probably not for a while, man. As much as I'd love to drop an album, right now the audience of any kind of hip hop or any music fan is all about singles. You know what I'm saying? We gravitate towards one song on an album, and then we kind of leave the album aside. You know what I mean? Especially with streaming platforms and stuff like that. So until I build, that 1,000 true fan base, then I won't be dropping an album.
Okay, so your strategy is until you get to a band of people that's riding with you. You won't drop us a whole project. You're gonna single us.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way that I'm doing that currently, obviously, is since I live in Metro Detroit, I've decided I'm gonna start, building my base there. And what does that look like? So I've learned, Simon, that running ads in an omnipresent manner has been so much more effective for me than when running ads in the past, right? Sometimes people get in the habit of, I want a cheaper, PPC or, pay-per-click. And the way that works is your video gets put up next to other rap videos, whether it be World Star, Chris Brown, Tiger, whatever artist that you would say that you like. Obviously, we know the target is there, but every time somebody clicks on that video and views it is when you have to pay for that.
Right.
And it's becoming more expensive. So some people still want to keep that, 1 penny per click, but they're doing it in all countries. So as they're building, an ad that's out in India, that's out in China, that's out in Japan, that's out in Australia, and only 10 people are seeing it there each time or listening it.
Right.
But because of the fact that your song is, going to so many different places, at one point, it's hard for you to really build familiarity with a certain amount of people. Because it's better to have, 10,000 people see your song 20 times versus one person from two different parts, two people from two different parts of the world obviously see your song. So I'm building that familiarity because I don't know if I would say this is still a rule of thumb, but they usually say that it takes a person 7 times to see your ad or to see your video before they click on it, And then they also have to click on it enough times to find familiarity or interest with the brand to make a purchase or download the song. So the current ad spend that I've ran so far on All Hustle on YouTube, see, I love marketing. And honestly, once I get a little bit older, I'm probably just going to just focus on that. But right now it's at 5.7 thousand views, and it's only in the Detroit area, and it's already been seen by 400,000 people. It's got 178 thumbs up, 21 down clicks, and I got 80 comments, which is crazy. Because usually when I run a campaign, I used to run them all over the United States. You know what I mean? So it wasn't as effective as the engagement because only so many people would see it only so many times.
Well,
versus those same people seeing it over and over again, which,
well, think about
is
what you
going to
did.
make more interest for them to click on it.
Basically, what you did was instead of taking the same amount and spreading it everywhere, you made it dense, and you made that you went specifically to your region, and that is what we used to do anyway. So all you did was go back to basics is what I'm trying to get to, because basically what we used to do was you would try to take over your region. So if you were a New York rapper, right, and you were rocking, then you wanted to try to make sure that you had the tri-state area messing with you. So everywhere within there, if you could become a star there, then you can grow and bubble outside of that. But your region can hold you up. Now, on the other end, you could take someone like Slim Thug, who is known for controlling his Texas region and being able to make over $1 million a year just out of Texas. Like, he's never stopped rapping. He just stopped having a major deal. But you can still find his music, and he bang hard in his region, which is what you want to do. If you can control your region, then it doesn't really matter. That's extra money. Yes. That's extra exposure. Yes. But at the end of the day, if you can make what you're doing monetize to the point where you can get $1 million off being an artist that just has their region on lock, you have won. So I totally understand that. That makes excellent sense. So, So what was it like working in a new studio? I know you have been going to Detroit, been seeing some video clips. You've been talking trash. Oh yeah, baby, I'm in the booth. I'm in the classy booth, baby. You know what I'm saying? It got real sexy in here and just about to do this magic on you. I heard it. So how was all that? How was that experience?
It was good, man. And the reason I do that is because a lot of people, I'm really slept on, man. And that's probably because I don't talk enough shit. But it's wonderful, you know what I'm saying, to be back in a major studio. It's been a couple of years. So I don't know if you know Helaba, the producer for T Grizzly and a few other big Detroit.
This
was around July. So he was posting about fireworks. And I hopped on his Instagram post. This is how quick stuff can happen. And I was like, fuck the fireworks. Where's the studio at? You know what I'm saying? Because I've been trying to get a hold of him and his people to get into the studio. And I don't get no calls back. So instead, a different producer and engineer reached out to me that also has, top tier placements with big artists and stuff like that. So it's really important as an artist, to be in a major studio because you're only you're only a foot away. Because the reality is some other artists that could be recording at that major studio could be chopping up with the same engineers you have. And then other engineers like, hold on, before we get our session started, I know you're here early. I want to finish mixing it for this kid, right? And let's say if it's Big Sean. Let's say if it's Riff Raff. Let's say if it's Sada Baby. You know what I'm saying? It could be any of those names walking in there. You know what I mean? They're like, I fuck with that. That's dope. I want to hop on that shit. Who is this kid? You know what I mean? So you're only a touch away, a foot away from being able to get more opportunities to help grow your brand.
Well, it just gives you more chances to be heard, be seen.
Yeah.
I guess the word I want to use is discovered. But
yeah, and at the same time, I don't want to say that that's just enough.
No, because I would say the sound quality from an actual engineer who all they do is engineer, go through your music and figure out like, okay, so you were high pitched here, I can bring you down, and really, meticulously go through. Yes, that is a huge, major plus. So I get that too.
Yeah, and then I think that as long as you have a good conduct, what I'm saying, you're chill, you're not weird or anything like that, it's easier to build relationships. Because as relationships are really important, but obviously that's just a very bare minimum. It always helps to get in a major studio because of those reasons, but you still have to promote your product. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
There's no label that come to you or anybody that wants to do business with you and be like, oh man, you got a really nice song, you got a really dope video, but you only got 100 views. Well, what am I supposed to do with this?
Well, I mean, like that's twofold. Well, A, you could look at me and say, oh, I see the potential in you as a star and we can make that happen. Or B, you're a lazy A&R and you're like, well, I really want you to come to me as a finished product. And then we just put our name on it and try to flush some money into you. Because let's be honest, like right now, record labels are not doing their jobs. Record labels are eating off of the fact that they are operating as large banks. I say this to people all the time, man. Like getting a record deal is not getting a record deal. Getting a record deal is getting a major loan. That's what you're doing. You're getting a major loan.
High interest. That's that.
Yeah, a high interest loan that a whole bunch of other people and when they tell you they're going to get theirs off the top, they merely mean they're going to get theirs off the top. That's what it is. And if you go into it with that business mind and say, okay, look, I want to sign, you want to sign me. You want to rape me out of bread. I get that. So what I will do is I will succeed a certain amount of things where you are going to get over in this particular deal. But I have standing points that will have to be met in order for this to work. And when you're a smart artist, then you make moves and say, okay, look, I need all my publishing. I need to own my masters. And they're going to be like, why? You're going to be like, because I did all the work anyway. You ain't do nothing. So there's really no reason for you to own anything. You're leasing me to help you make money off of a major loan to make the money back as fast as humanly possible for you so you can get your cut off of the interest. That's fine. But I'm smart enough to see it. Because there's nothing really as a major label you can offer me except for the ability to meet whoever's on your roster. That's it. That's really the only thing you can offer me. Because when it comes to production as an artist, once you have enough bread, you can call anybody and offer them some money. Somebody gonna listen. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, if you call Timberland and be like, I got 100 bands, I just need one beat. I don't care. I just want to be able to say Timberland was on the beat. You can get your laugh on it, everything on it. I guarantee.
Yeah, money almost anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, but and what's crazy is because you're right about that. I always say that record labels, they triple dip.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason I say that is because not only do they give you the loan, right? They give you the loan, then you got to pay it back, and you got to pay it back with interest. Then they recoup a lot on the backside. And then on top of that, let's say if you're going to a studio and you're not signed by them, it might cost you $100 an hour, $70 an hour, $60 an hour. But if you go to that same studio after you get signed to that label and they give you $1 million, you think they're going to be charging you $60, $70, $100 an hour? Fuck no. They're going to be charging you $500 an hour because then they can put you farther in owing them more money.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yep.
Because
that's how they keep artists under contract, so they can't ever pay it back because the interest is so ridiculous, and they're overcharging you for all the services that they should just be doing for free. Because in the end, they would be able to profit more off in the back end. But
Well, no, man, because here's the thing, right? Every failed artist, they get the write off. So then Uncle Sam give them their money back. So they win in everywhere there is to win. So that's why it's Raping You Records. When the Lock said it was Raping You Records, they wasn't playing with you. A lot of us took it, ha ha ha, you making fun of Puffy, okay, let's move on. But those of us who were real hip hop heads and was paying attention was like, nah, it's Raping You Records with everybody. Everybody's about to get somebody. The difference is, yes, a lot of times what I like to call the imprint label, right? When someone like a Little Kim gets a label, somebody like that, right? When they get their own little label, all the major label is saying to them is, here is a big check. You pass out the money. When you win, we take our money off the top. Your deal is set up on how you get money off of them, right? So Baby's deal is like that with Universal. Most people didn't really pay attention to what they were saying to us. So that being said, what is happening is, hey, I got a little imprint label. I'm going to sign E.R The Maker. E.R The Maker, I'm going to give you $500,000 to do that. Now I'm going to employ all the Raping You game I can, because I need to make as much money off as you as fast as possible so I can pay them back. But I get to eat all the interest from the major loan that they gave me to begin with. And that's how people be winning.
And then that person gets on the hook with that artist's subsidiary.
Exactly, because you wasn't really signed to them no way. You were signed to the major. That's why in the end, right, when Lil Wayne's deal fell, when Lil Wayne was going through his deal and his renegotiation, and it finally got to the point where Universal was just like, well, we just gonna take you. We'll give you this, this, and this. Come mess with us. Because we already got all the paperwork on you anyway. We weren't paying you anyway, so what's up? And he was like, oh, okay. I didn't know. Yeah, that's how this really works.
That is it. It looked like Wayne when that happened to Wayne and he had dropped music for, and I don't know for 6-7 years or however long it would have been. Isn't it crazy how much he aged?
Well, I mean, the aging process was for people like me. Again, I don't know nothing, so this might not be true. Just me looking at the situation. To me, it looked like rock and roll, and you know what I mean by that, like. It looked like too much syrup, too many blunts, too many nights drunk, too many nights up too late, not taking care of yourself, going hard. You add all that together, and it makes some people age.
Yeah. And I can't believe he's only 38.
I mean,
that's crazy,
bro. But think about it. He's been doing it since 16. And so we have that image in our mind of who he was when he was a 16-year-old, and as he's got older, he's aged. Like, you go from Lil Wayne at 16, you go look at Lil Wayne at 25. That's a huge difference in comparison to, like, you go look at a picture of Meth at 16 and then go look at Meth at 25. It's just it's a bigger jump than normal, and I think it just has to do with the fact that, bro, you was living hard. Like, really, like Lil Wayne has probably lived 4 lifetimes in comparison to the average human being. Like, literally, you've been around the world that many times. You done kicked it with that many different people. You done had this many women as concubines. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's done did everything there is to do.
But
I got one more question and I'll let you go. My last question is this, right? So me and you, we always get off into either the business portion of hip hop and how it works and what's going on, and every now and then we get into some pop culture. So I'm gonna take you left field, right? I'm gonna take you all the way left field, and it's kind of back to a conversation that we had earlier, and it's this. Do you think that putting LGBTQ messaging people in children's programming is fair play? I wanted to ask this to a hip hop and I wanted to ask this to a man. I'm just curious where you stand. If you don't want to answer, you can step away. My question is, do you think, like, all right, prime example, like the She-Ra cartoon that came out that was positioned to be a cartoon for like really young girls, you know, so you're talking about like your little baby girls all the way up to maybe like 7.
Okay.
right? And it's drawn in a way for it to be really liked by small children. When the series ended, it turned out that she was in a lesbian relationship. Do you call foul on this or not?
Man, all the way fucking foul.
Okay, I'm just asking. A woman brung that question to me, and she was like, "Did you watch She-Ra?" And I was like, "No, I didn't watch She-Ra." I was like, "Unless you're talking about the original She-Ra," I was like, "I know there's a new one or something or other." She was like, "Yeah, did you watch the new one? I know you just randomly watch cartoons. Did you watch it?" No. I said, "I don't really get off into watching like girly, like cartoons meant for little girls. They don't interest me." For obvious reasons, right? And she goes, "Yeah." She was like, "Okay, well, I watched it." I said, "Okay, what'd you think? Was it good?" She was like, no." I said, "Why wasn't it good? What was wrong?" She goes, "Well, I watched the whole program, and in the end, she was a lesbian." I was like, "Oh." I said, "Oh my, that's deep." And she goes, "Well, I just feel like it just was out of place. What's your opinion?" And I said, "Well, yeah, that's my opinion." I said, "I'll tell you another show that I watched that made me feel the same way. I watched Voltron. We're talking about the new show, so it's Voltron Defenders of the Universe, right? I watched that, and at the end of the program, what I got was that one of the lead characters got married to his boyfriend. And I was like, interesting. And when I discussed it with another dude, he was like, "There they go with that stuff." He was like, "You ain't angry?" I was like, "Well, I ain't angry. I'm just more like, And he was like, "Why are you just like, And I said, "Here's my answer." Because everyone says, because I'm normally a jerk about a lot of stuff. I said, my answer is non-jerkish, but it'll make you think. I said, for me, here's mine. When you get on your little plateau, your podium, your speak box, whatever you want to call it, and you scream that you need to be inclusive and the world needs to be inclusive, when you say that to me as a black male, my reply to you is this. It's 2001 and we are just now starting to get a TV show filled with Asians to tell their story, even in a comical way. I said, we still ain't got a whole Latino show besides George Lopez. I said, we get little sprinkles here and there. I said, you don't put none of those groups in regular television to the point where it would make sense to then tell me now you're going to add the LGBTQ community. And the reason I say that is this, because there's so many of us who are not being represented before we get to someone who has a sexual preference that I got a problem with. Like, if you're not showing me Indian people, both like Indians and people from India, when you're not showing me Latino people, when you're not showing me black people, like we get one, or you got to turn to a show that's meant for black people to get multiples of black people. When you're not showing me those people, and then you tell me, well, this group needs to be seen more than everybody else. Wait, hold on. That's a sexual preference. Period. So if I get to watch a cartoon and the cartoon don't got 6 black people in the cartoon, or it don't give me a black person, an Asian person, and they're not stereotypes, then why are we having this conversation? Or the weird thing they like to do is, if you do use an inclusion person, that person also has to be LGBTQ. That's weird. It's weird to me that you're going to be like, oh, it's almost all white cast. We got one person that they're ambiguous. We don't know what they are. Right. And then we'll throw in a black girl and she'll be a lesbian. Or we'll put a black guy in there and then he'll be gay. Well, he can't just be gay. He has to be flamboyantly gay. Like, that to me is weird. And that has nothing to do with that group. I just feel like they're being used in a weird way to make people accept it. And it's like, if you're going to force people to accept stuff, can we force people to accept all the different races first? Can we start there? Like I'm all for forcing people to accept a certain amount of shit. So let's start with making it so black people are treated with respect, that Latinos aren't just talked about as if they're a dispendable workforce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That our Muslim brothers aren't all crazy Taliban. Let's do that then. You know what I'm saying? Let's start there. That's the root of society, right? Let's start there. And then
Yeah.
work our way to the sexual preference. Because
That, let's at least address something that people can't change versus something that people do have a preference of. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that 100%. But the reason I say that it's not okay, not only because it's targeted towards children, but because children, the way their brain works is they grab onto things from the time that they're 3 to they're 7. You know what I mean? Like my son asks me so many questions a day that it kind of drives me nuts. But I get it because he's always like, "Man, what about this? What about this? Why is this like that?" I don't, you know what I mean? And but I can understand that because he's curious and trying to figure out how the world works. And I think that your subconscious is so vulnerable at that time. You know what I mean? So you may see stuff and you may not understand it, but it will always be imprinted into your brain to the point where it could grow.
Right.
Like for example, like when I was really young, I found my dad's weed. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Smells weird. You know what I'm saying? My dad would be coming home from like playing darts with his buddies or going bowling or playing pool, and he would smell like, you know what I'm saying, smell like weed. But I didn't know the difference of what that was until I got older, right?
Yeah.
And I was in a situation where somebody like, "Hey man, you smoke weed?" And I'm like, "Weed?" You know what I'm saying? And as soon as I smell it, I'm like, that's what I've been smelling all these years.
Yeah.
Saying so my immediate thought was, "Oh, my pops does it. Well, it's got to be okay for me to do it." You know what I'm saying? So, I think that our subconscious, comes into play, not always in that moment where it can hurt us, but later, because that familiarity comes back so quick.
Well, that's because your brain is a supercomputer. And
Yeah.
it's part of the reason why dudes like us and great moms out there are trying their best to quarantine their children. And this is why we feel like it's important, is based on the fact that let them grow up however they're going to grow up, but don't sneak things in that then parents will have to explain at a later date. That's parents' biggest bitch with the whole thing. Like, I've talked to a lot of adults, and their biggest bitch has been like, I just don't want to be explaining this shit. And that's really what it boils down to. It's like, when you got a 5-year-old, you don't want to have to explain to the 5-year-old why the 2 girls is kissing in the cartoon when they sat down to watch if they was going to save the day. The same thing you said earlier. You as a kid, you're watching to see how they save the day. And so you don't want to be bombarded with oddball things that are out of society. Not to say that they're wrong, just that they're out of sync with how it's really supposed to work. So they have to be mature enough to understand it, and you're not giving them that chance.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, to add on to that, that really gets into like the whole MK Ultra thing. And I know not only can TV and cartoons and visuals affect you, but so can audio. Audio can just that's why a lot of times you tell somebody something 15 times, they'll eventually believe it, even if it's not true.
Well, yeah, everything you just said is true, and that's why that's why they tell you with like small children, because I have a toddler, that's why they tell you that you're not supposed to be playing, for lack of a better term, I know we hip hop heads, but you're not supposed to be playing gangster music or really provocative music or any of that around them, because even though they might not be mature enough to totally understand it, you're still programming that into their mind because it's repetitive. It's the same reason why you're playing an alphabet song to them. So they will start singing it to you. So then in their mind, it will process. And then one day they'll just be able to sing the alphabet. That's why everyone sings the alphabet when you tell them to do the alphabet. If you tell the average person to do the alphabet for you, they can't just be like A, B, C, D. No, they're going to be like A, B, C, D, because that's what you learn how to do. So your brain automatically thinks that. And so you can't constantly put poison into that mind that's over processing everything and think that they won't have those things stored in there, which is the point I believe you were making.
Yep. Yeah. I was going to say, when I was in high school, a lot of us listened to Gucci Mane and, T.I. A little bit trap music, the original trap music. And that became a reality for so many people around me. Everyone started hustling all of a sudden. Everybody threw rims on the hoopty, what I'm saying? It was riding around, bumping every single Gucci Mane mixtape, Titty Boy, Jeezy, all that shit.
Well, yeah.
And it's crazy because I don't think they necessarily saw it coming, but I think rap music does have an influence on people's minds. But it was like,
well, it does. It does. It does. It does. I mean, rap music has influence on people's minds like hard rock and roll does, like jazz does, like everything musical affects you. That's why music can make you happy, sad, angry, mad, or horny.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Music can do all that to you. Music can make you hungry. There's studies that show people who have listened to McDonald's jingles their whole life and play a McDonald's jingle for them in a situation like that, in an elevator or something like that, and then talk to them 10 minutes later, and they're like, man, I'm hungry. I secretly want like a Big Mac. Because it's subliminally already in your mind because you know that music played McDonald's. You know McDonald's served Big Macs. You fuck with Big Macs. Now you want one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you listen to somebody tell you to sell dope every day, what you think you're going to wind up doing, especially if you don't have a strong mind and your mind hasn't processed the information being like, this is entertainment. I'm singing along, but I don't want to sell dope because I don't want to go to jail. It's people who their mind's not strong yet. So if they listen to gangster shit every day, it'll make them feel a certain way. Next thing you know, they're carrying out that thing. So I get it. So
yeah.
let's get out of here because I could chop it with you up with you all day. All day. You know what I'm saying? We get it all day. So
I appreciate you having me, my guy.
Oh man, you're always welcome, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. So let's end with this, right? Please shout out, let people know where they can go listen to the new single. Tell them where they can go and find you if they want to mess with you about merch, if they want to get to know about cryptocurrency. That's right, the boy do mess with the crypto. If you want to know about cryptocurrency, or if they just want to get with you, you know what I'm saying, and pick your brain, something, or want to work with you, how can they get a hold of E.R The Maker?
Yeah. Obviously, on social media is always the best way. Use preferably Instagram. At ERTHEMAKER. But as far as like my merch, right, my latest single, All Hustle, you can get for free on my website www.erthemaker.com. You know what I mean? As soon as you pull up the homepage, all you got to do is send your email, and then I'll send the song. And then, I got merch on my website. Just got 3 different sneakers that we've designed. So, it takes about 7 to 14 days to get them to you. Obviously, the tablet and stuff like that. And then I got some T-shirts, some hoodies, some watches, man. So I definitely have a solid foundation of products. So.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here first. That boy E.R The Maker got shoes, hats, caps, hoodies, T-shirts, drawers, whatever you need. Boy selling it all. Got bootleg DVDs of his own video. He got it all over there. Holler at him. You already know who you've been messing with. It's your boy, Simon Phoenix. This has been Shots Fired Podcast. We appreciate you coming through. Wherever you have been listening to the show, please, please, please like, share, subscribe. Holla at my boy E.R The Maker. Go show him some love. Check out his music. I holla. Peace.